Our first training session with Miss Shadow is the kennel up exercise. Shadow hasn't been crated before, so I'm using her supper kibble to teach her to go in and out of the crate and also to make a very positive association with being in the crate. So I want her to feel really good about being in the crate, and so I'm using her meals to encourage her to walk in the crate and to pause a little while before I invite her out of the crate. So I start out by just allowing her to chase the kibble into the crate and then come on and walk out of the crate. The next step is that after I asked her to go in the crate, I asked her to sit and pause. So I'm sort of building up the time that she's spending in there a little bit at a time. So here I send her in with the term kennel up. When she's in there, I ask her to sit, and then I reward her each step of the way for doing the things that I asked. So the next step after that is I'm briefly going to close the door so that she can just get used to the door being closed and the confinement feeling of the crate. She's feeling really, really good about it, very food motivated. She's very happy to go in the crate, rest there. She waits very patiently for me to open the door back up and invite her out. So I repeat this process over and over and over until she's very comfortable being sent in on her own. In the very beginning, I had to use just a teeny bit of leash guidance just to guide her into the crate. When she caught on to the exercise, she had no problems whatsoever just walking in, sitting down, allowing me to close the door, and then waiting for her food reward. I love using a dog's meals to train. It allows them to work for their food, much like we work for a paycheck. It also helps motivate them to do the exercises and learn the behaviors that we're trying to teach them. It makes the training session really, really fun for them, really motivating and really engaging. She also starts to give me some eye contact too during this exercise, which I really, really like. So we'll be encouraging that in our future sessions. I'm pausing a little longer this time, giving her a couple of extra minutes just to see how she feels about being in the crate. I'm rewarding her through the door for staying calm, for being good. She's doing really, really well. Very comfortable in there. And I also really like how when I open the door, she has already learned to wait for the invitation to come out. She's very calm. She's very sure of herself. And she is really enjoying this exercise using the food. So here she wanted to go check out one of the dogs in the crates behind me. So I just used a little bit of leash guidance just to help her go into the crate. Once she was refocused, then she picked right up where we left off. So again, I'm going to practice closing the door. So I want to do all these things a bunch of times and rewarding her for good behaviors as I'm doing it before I actually leave her in there for any length of time. So I want her to become very familiar with how to politely go into the crate, how to politely wait for an invitation to leave the crate, and how to stay there comfortably for a few minutes. So I want all those things to be comfortable and understood for her before I ever leave her for any period of time in her crate. Here I'm feeding her one piece of kibble at a time quite slowly, asking her to stay in there with the door open for an extended period of time. So I'm working on a little bit of duration with her before I go ahead and release her. So anytime she pauses, I just go ahead and use the leash to help her kennel up. So if you time your food rewards just right, you can extend the length of time of the duration that they're in there. If I were to feed her at a slower interval, she may pop up and come on out or get distracted or bored, but I'm just trying to draw it out a little bit and keep rewarding her for her duration. So this is a little bit more of the style of stuff that I would do with puppies, but for a dog that's never been crated before, I just wanted to use her meals just to make it a really good positive experience. So throughout her time training, I'll be using her meals during all of our sessions. So she'll be working for her meals, and anything extra that she has at the end of our day or at the end of her sessions, she'll be eating the rest of her food in the crate. So that's another thing that I really like to do to help the dogs feel really good about their crates. I feed them in there, but it's also another really great way if you have multiple dogs to make sure that there's no issues around dogs and their food. So you have no resource guarding, no dogs getting too close to one another when they're eating, if they're all safely eating in their crates. So we're just about done here, and before we end the session, I'm just going to take off her leash and collar so that she can be in the crate and just relax until her next session later on this afternoon.